All right, so you wanted to take a deep dive into the migrant caravan that headed for the U.S. southern border back in 2018.
Yeah, it really did grab a lot of attention worldwide.
And there were just so many questions swirling around it.
Lots of questions.
Like, who was behind it?
Yeah.
Was it organized? Was it funded?
Mm-hmm.
And then there were concerns about the potential security risks, too.
Right.
So we dug into some really insightful sources
Yeah.
to get a clearer picture of what was going on with this whole caravan event.
Yeah, it really became a focal point for a lot of these really critical issues we're dealing with.
Absolutely, like immigration,
Yes.
security, and
Yeah.
just the different political ideologies that are out there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's amazing how this one event really kind of encapsulated so much of what's going on in the world today.
It really did.
And it wasn't just the sheer scale of it.
Right.
You know, we're talking thousands of people
Yeah.
making their way through Mexico to get to the U.S. border.
Right. Yeah, it was Sarah Carter's an investigative reporter who she actually embedded herself within the caravan to report on it.
Wow.
And she described the second wave alone as consisting of like 1,500 individuals.
Wow.
And that was just one part of it. The estimate for the total number of people involved
Yeah.
were in 7,000.
7,000 people. That's a massive movement of people.
Yeah, it is.
And Carter's firsthand account kind of challenges some of those common perceptions surrounding the caravan.
Yeah, how so?
Well, she observed a much higher proportion of men than was typically portrayed in the media.
That's interesting because you often see the women and children
Right.
kind of being the face of these migrations.
Yeah, you see those images and it really pulls at your heartstrings. But to hear that there were actually more men involved,
Yeah.
it makes you wonder how much of what we see is really the full story.
Right. Yeah, it makes you wonder how these events are framed,
Yeah.
And what are the biases potentially in the coverage.
Right, because someone is choosing what images we see. Someone is choosing what stories get told.
Right, exactly.
So there's a lot to unpack there. But let's move on to the accusations of organized efforts and funding behind the caravan.
Okay, so Mike Pence, the vice president at the time,
Right.
he explicitly stated that the caravan was orchestrated by leftist organizations in Honduras
Really?
and that it received financial backing from Venezuela.
Wow. So he's basically saying that this wasn't just the spontaneous movement of people.
Right, he's saying it was a calculated effort
Wow.
by these outside forces.
Wow. And did he name any of these organizations?
He did. He named Pueblos Sin Fronteras as one of the groups allegedly involved.
Pueblos Sin Frontera.
Yeah, and they're a group that's openly advocating for the removal of border walls.
So their mission is to kind of dismantle those physical barriers between countries.
Yeah, basically to make it easier for people to cross borders.
So their involvement kind of lends credence to the idea that there was an agenda behind this caravan.
Well, that's how Pence framed it.
Right.
And a Honduran congressman, Fuentes,
Okay.
he also echoed the claims of leftist involvement.
So you've got Pence, you've got this Honduran congressman, both pointing to these organized efforts.
Right.
But I imagine not everyone bought into that narrative.
Oh, absolutely not. There were a lot of skeptics who pushed back pretty hard against these allegations.
Okay, and what were their arguments?
Well, they saw it as an attempt to demonize the migrants,
Okay.
to paint them as pawns in some kind of political game.
So basically using these claims to justify stricter border control measures.
Exactly. It's about controlling the narrative to push a particular agenda.
So we're seeing this clear divide in perspectives.
Yeah.
You know, those who believe this was a very deliberate political move, and those who see it as more of a grassroots, a more organic response to some really difficult circumstances.
Right. And that divide really becomes apparent when we start talking about the security concerns.
Which were huge. Both Pence and then President Trump really emphasized the potential dangers posed by the caravan.
They did.
Especially the possibility of terrorists and criminals infiltrating it.
So their argument was that this mass movement of people could be exploited by those who mean to do harm.
And they were very vocal about those concerns.
Yeah. Pence even cited a statistic claiming that U.S. Border Patrol intercepts an average of 10 individuals suspected of terrorist activities every single day.
Wow, every day.
Yeah, that's what he claimed.
Scary thought.
It is. And Trump added to that by referencing past instances where individuals from the Middle East, some with alleged ties to ISIS, were apprehended by Border Patrol.
So he was saying, look, this has happened before.
Yeah, this isn't just a hypothetical.
We've actually caught people who shouldn't be here.
Right.
Trying to get into the country.
And Sarah Carter, remember the reporter who was embedded in the Caravan?
Right.
She also mentioned encountering individuals connected to MS-13.
Wow.
And other gangs.
So even within the Caravan itself, there were signs that some of these dangerous elements might be present.
Yeah, and there were intelligence reports.
Okay.
Indicating the presence of individuals with ties to ISIS and other groups in Central America.
So the threat was real. It wasn't just political rhetoric.
No, that's the debate, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, was it a genuine concern or was it a way to manipulate public opinion?
Yeah, because it's hard to know for sure how much of a threat these individuals actually pose.
Right. We have these high-ranking officials making these claims.
Yeah.
We have on-the-ground reports.
Mm-hmm.
We have intelligence data. But it doesn't always give us clear-cut answers.
Right. It's all very murky.
Yeah, it is.
So how did this all play out in the political arena?
I mean, not surprisingly, the Caravan ignited a stark partisan divide.
So Democrats and Republicans reacted very differently to this.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much reactions fell along party lines.
So it sounds like your stance on the Caravan almost became like a litmus test for your political affiliation.
You could say that, yeah.
So what were the main points of contention?
Well, Democrats were accused of supporting open borders and amnesty.
Okay.
While Republicans faced accusations of fear-mongering and promoting exclusionary policies.
So it was this classic battle between those who prioritize security and those who emphasize compassion and humanitarian concerns.
Yeah, and it's easy to fall into that trap of thinking it's black and white.
Right.
But the reality is the political landscape is a lot more nuanced than that.
Absolutely. I mean, even Barack Obama back in 2006
Yeah.
expressed support for stricter border control measures.
Right, which is essentially what Trump was advocating for in 2018.
Exactly. So it's not always as simple as Democrats are for open borders and Republicans are against it.
Right, it's much more complex than that. And stances can shift over time.
Yeah, depending on the context and the political priorities.
Exactly.
One of the sources we looked at claimed that Democrats were largely silent on the Caravan issue.
I don't know about that.
It just feels like an oversimplification.
Yeah, I'd say it's more likely that they were addressing the issue.
Sure.
But their proposed solutions
Yeah.
differed significantly from those favored by Republicans.
Okay, so maybe it wasn't about being silent, but about having different approaches to the problem,
Exactly.
different ideas about how to solve it.
Right, and that's something we need to keep in mind. There are multiple perspectives out there.
Yeah.
Multiple pathways to addressing these complex issues.
And it's important to understand those different perspectives to really grasp the full complexity of what's going on.
Absolutely.
Now, we can't talk about the Caravan without mentioning the wall.
Oh, yeah, the wall.
It was a central element of Trump's response to this whole event.
It was.
He repeatedly asserted that constructing a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border would effectively prevent caravans like this from forming.
Yeah. Keep them from even reaching U.S. soil.
And of course, that ignited a whole other debate.
Oh, yeah.
Because critics argued that a physical wall is ineffective and exorbitantly expensive.
Right.
They were pushing for comprehensive immigration reform.
Yeah, a more systemic approach.
That's a more viable solution.
Right, so it's that classic clash of ideologies.
Yeah.
A physical barrier versus a more systemic approach.
Like two fundamentally different ways of seeing the problem and envisioning solutions.
Exactly. And understanding those ideologies is crucial to making sense of the arguments and the policy proposals surrounding the Caravan.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We
talked about the scale of the Caravan, the composition of it, the accusations of organized efforts, the security concerns, and the political battle lines.
It was a multifaceted event.
For sure.
With far-reaching implications.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But before we delve deeper into the political responses and the long-term consequences, I think we need to step back for a minute.
Okay.
And consider the root causes of this migration.
Yeah, because we've been focusing on the event itself.
Right.
But we haven't really explored the underlying why.
What would drive thousands of people to leave their homes, their families, and embark on such a perilous journey?
Right. What were the push factors?
Yeah, what forces were at play in Central America that led to this exodus?
That's the question we need to unpack next.
I'm ready to dig deeper.
All right, let's do it. Yeah. It's easy to get caught up in those images, thousands of people on the move, the clashes at the border, all that.
The chaos.
Yeah. But to really understand what was going on with this caravan, we need to understand why.
Right.
Why were people so desperate to leave their homes in the first place?
Exactly. We've been talking about politics and security and all that.
Yeah.
But what about the underlying conditions?
Yeah.
What pushed so many people to risk everything on this journey?
Well, imagine living in a place where poverty is rampant, where opportunities are scarce,
Right.
and basic necessities are a daily struggle.
Yeah.
That's the reality for many in Central America.
And we often hear about gangs like MS-13 operating in these regions. What role does violence play in all of this?
It's a huge factor. I mean, gang violence,
Yeah.
drug trafficking,
That's right.
organized crime.
Yeah.
They create this constant sense of fear and danger.
Yeah. You're basically living under threat.
Yeah, imagine fearing for your life
Yeah.
and the lives of your children every single day.
It's not just about seeking better economic prospects.
Yeah.
It's about escaping a life of constant threat and instability.
Precisely. It's about survival.
Yeah.
It's about seeking a place where you and your family can live without that fear.
And this isn't a new phenomenon, right?
No, not at all.
I mean, there's a long history of migration from Central America to the U.S.
Yeah.
driven by similar factors.
Absolutely. I mean, this caravan was a particularly visible manifestation
Okay.
of a long-standing pattern.
Right.
Economic disparities, political instability, violence, all these things have fueled these migration flows for decades.
So it makes you think that just focusing on border security,
Yeah.
it's kind of like addressing a symptom without really tackling the underlying cause.
You're absolutely right. It's like putting a bandage on a deep wound.
Right.
It might offer temporary relief,
Yeah.
but it doesn't address the root of the problem.
So if we really want to understand the caravan and the broader issue of migration,
Yeah.
we need to look beyond these immediate events.
Right.
And grapple with these deeper, more systemic challenges.
Exactly. To truly address the root causes of migration, we need to consider economic development,
Okay.
strengthening institutions,
Yeah.
improving security in these countries.
Right.
It's a complex, multifaceted undertaking.
That sounds like a pretty tall order, though.
It is.
I mean, these are issues that have persisted for generations.
Yeah.
Where do we even begin?
It's a long-term challenge, no doubt.
Yeah.
But it starts with acknowledging the complexity of the issue
Okay.
and moving beyond these simplistic solutions.
Right.
It requires collaboration
Yeah.
between governments,
Okay.
international organizations, local communities.
So it's not just about one country or one policy. It's about a global effort to address these interconnected issues.
Precisely. And that brings us back to the caravan.
Okay.
It wasn't just a single event.
Right.
It was a symptom of much larger forces at play.
It's easy to get caught up in the political back and forth.
Yeah.
But we have to remember the human stories at the heart of this.
Behind the headlines and the statistics,
Yeah.
there are thousands of individuals
Right.
with their own motivations, their own hopes,
Yeah.
their own struggles.
People who felt they had no other choice
Yeah.
but to leave everything behind and risk it all for a chance at a better life.
And that's a perspective we can't afford to lose sight of.
Absolutely. So where do we go from here? What are the takeaways for someone listening,
Yeah.
someone trying to make sense of all of this?
I think it starts with recognizing the complexity of the issue
Okay.
and resisting the urge to oversimplify.
Right.
There are no easy answers
Yeah.
or quick fixes.
It's messy. It's about understanding the push and pull factors, the historical context,
Right.
the political motivations,
Yeah.
and most importantly, the human cost
Yeah.
of these migrations.
And it's about engaging in constructive dialogue,
Yeah.
even when perspectives differ.
This deep dive has certainly given me a lot to think about.
Me too.
It's broadened my understanding of the caravan
Yeah.
and the larger issues at play.
For you listening, I'd pose this question.
Okay.
What role do you think developed nations should play in addressing the root causes of migration?
That's a great question to ponder. It is.
It challenges us to think beyond our own borders and consider our shared responsibility in creating a more just and equitable world.
Exactly.
And it reminds us that this isn't just a political issue.
Right.
It's a human one.
Right.
Wow. It's been quite a journey.
That has.
Unpacking this whole event. We started with the 2018 Migrant Caravan itself,
Right.
but our exploration has kind of led us to some much broader issues.
It has.
Poverty, violence, political instability, just those complex dynamics of global migration.
It's a reminder that events like this caravan, they don't happen in a vacuum.
Right.
They're often the culmination of long-standing issues
Yeah.
and systemic challenges that have been simmering beneath the surface for years.
Yeah, and we've talked about the need to address the root causes of migration.
Right.
But it's such a multifaceted problem.
Yeah.
Where do we even begin to tackle something this complex?
Well, it starts with a shift in perspective, I think.
We need to move beyond viewing migration solely as a border security issue.
Okay.
And recognize it as a symptom of these deeper global imbalances.
So instead of focusing on walls and enforcement, we need to think about creating opportunities, fostering stability, addressing those factors that push people to leave their homelands in the first place.
Exactly. It requires a more holistic approach that considers economic development, social justice, human rights as integral components of any solution.
This reminds me of something we often discuss on the show.
Oh, yeah.
The importance of zooming out to see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
You know, when we focus solely on the immediate event, we miss that crucial context.
Right.
And the interconnectedness of these global challenges.
It's such a key point. I mean, the 2018 Caravan,
Yeah.
it wasn't an isolated incident.
No.
It was a visible manifestation of larger migration patterns that are influenced by global economic forces, climate change, political instability, all these things.
It's a reminder that we live in an interconnected world.
We do.
And these issues transcend national borders.
Yeah.
What happens in one part of the world has ripple effects elsewhere.
Absolutely. And it challenges us to think about solutions that address those systemic issues rather than just reacting to the symptoms.
So we've gone from a specific event,
Caravan.
the Migrant Caravan, to exploring global migration patterns, economic disparities, the interconnectedness of our world.
It's been a truly eye-opening deep dive.
It has.
And hopefully it sparks some deeper thinking for you listening as well.
Definitely.
I'd like to leave you with a question.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on the responsibility of developed nations in addressing the root causes of migration?
That's a powerful question.
It is.
It goes beyond borders and politics.
It does.
And touches on our shared humanity. And as always, we encourage you to continue exploring this topic.
Yeah.
Seeking out diverse viewpoints, forming your own informed opinions.
This deep dive has provided a framework for understanding the complexities of the 2018 Migrant Caravan.
But it's just the beginning of a much larger conversation.
It is. There's always more to learn, more to understand, more to discuss.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Until next time, keep learning.
Keep questioning.
And keep diving deeper into the world around you.